So over the past few days, we finally got a good solid look at some of the gameplay presented in Mighty No. 9. And if there was any doubt that this might not be a Mega Man game, well, take a look at this! Holy God, I can already smell the lawsuit. After seeing this game in motion, I am capital HYPED for this game now. Seriously, seeing it move, how the characters interact with other characters, and how things are going to be generally presented within the gameplay of Mighty No. 9 has me genuinely excited. So let's quickly break down and see what Mighty No. 9 can actually do within this new type of gameplay system. There's always been talks and within previous design documents that Mighty No. 9 was going to absorb his enemies in some way. Myself and many others included presume this would be very similar to Mega Man games, where you're able to acquire the enemy ability from certain enemies that you kill, using them on other enemies, and you get a little bit of a puzzly kind of game within that. But it seems that it might be a little bit different. I'm not saying that's going to be gone, but what they have here is something where you can dash through enemies and kind of absorb them. If you notice throughout several times, the regular buster, or whatever the heck Mighty No. 9 is going to be shooting, stuns enemies. You can shoot them several other times for them to actually explode with that thing, or you can do a dash through them, and the dash actually kills the enemy straight out. The game gives you a couple different visual cues whether or not you did a great or good job, and if you do a great job, that means you stun the enemy and immediately go through them, and a good job means that you wait a little bit longer after stunning the enemy and then dash through them. Other than that, the dashing looks extremely similar to previous titles like Mega Man X. I like the fact that Inafune is taking some of the things that I really enjoyed in previous Mega Man games, and later down the line when you got into the X series, Mega Man got a lot of other mobility options, and that really seems to be the case here. The biggest ones to pay attention to is that yes, he has a forward dash, he has a multi-activating dash in the air, so he can repeatedly forward dash in the air multiple times. He can also downward strike, and this dash, like we said before, also has another ability, which is soaking up the enemies if they're stunned. What is also kind of crazy is that something we never really seen in the Mega Man games is a full and complete backwards jump or backdash. And just to show that Mighty No. 9 does not have to abide by the constraints and gameplay restrictions of previous Mega Man games, Mighty No. 9 can actually shoot his main weapon in multiple directions. It's not confirmed whether this is a lock-on of some kind, but it was very striking to immediately see the regular weapon that you're so associated with seeing in Mega Man games shooting in a completely different angle, while the majority of Mega Man games and their main weapon is completely designed around shooting straight. We also get a quick glimpse at different enemy types and also the variety of bosses that'll be presented in the game, similar to the bosses of previous— Holy shit! Okay, if there wasn't any question of this before, we can just establish it now. This is totally zero. Oh my God, Inafune, quit messing with my emotions. In summary, and like I said before, this entire little snippet of gameplay kind of restored any faith or any lost faith I had in Mighty No. 9 being really good. I was a little worried because we saw some alpha footage not that long ago and it was kind of off screen and wasn't really clear, and it was like, I don't think this is exactly what we were looking for, but now that we've seen this, it's very clear that Inafune is going for a gameplay style and feel to something that we know before, which is good, as long as he expands upon it, which already seems to be the case. Even the graphics, I was a little bit worried at first, even though they're not exactly representative of the concept art, you shouldn't expect them to be, it still looks decent. And when you see the character actually moving, you see how, like, you know, the camera follows the character, it's all almost identical to Mega Man games. Seriously, I would not be surprised if this game was eventually successful if Capcom did something about it. They might actually sue them because it's so similar. It's just ridiculously, strikingly similar, and it's unapologetic about it. I think it needs to be unapologetic because it shows everybody how much people really want a Mega Man game. And I think that this game being successful, also being a 2.5D platformer, is also critical for the future success of games like this. And it's even crazier how Inafune's quest to make this Mega Man game is kind of similar to other Japanese developers that are running into a similar situation. Koji is going into this thing where he wants to make a Castlevania, Metroidvania style game all over again. And some other Japanese devs have been going through the same exact thing. So either way, I think that there's a huge precedence for this to kind of set a staple. We don't have to deal with these giant conglomerate companies that don't want us to make these classically beloved games anymore. You start up small studios and you get it done that way. Either way, let me know what you guys think about the gameplay finally presented within Mighty No. 9. Is it up to your expectations? Is it not up to your expectations? Leave a comment below, and if you want to hit me up on Twitter or if any questions regarding it, you can find the link in the description below as well. My name is Maximilian, thank you dudes very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.